Don't know it. Don't know it.
What is up to all of my little unicorns, new and old? It's your girl, West Indie Ray, back again with another information-filled video. Today, I'm really excited because it's actually my first information-filled video, as I like to call them, in my new space. And today, I get to talk to you guys about something that I'm really passionate about. If you are a person who's in between starting or maintaining your locks yourself or going to a loctician, this video is for you. My main goal with this video is to help you decide whether you want to do it yourself or go to somebody. So hopefully by the end of this video, you will have the answer to that question. Now, first I'm gonna start off with going over the benefits of going to an actual loctician rather than starting your locks yourself. I started my locks myself, so a lot of times people think I'm really against going to locticians, but I'm not. It's not that I'm against it. You'll see why I chose to do it myself, but it's not that I'm against it. Like, I'm not knocking anybody for going to a loctician. I don't think that it's a weak thing to do or anything like that. It just depends on who you are and what it is that you're valuing out of your journey. I just want you guys to be informed and make the best decision for you. You know what I mean? Some people might prioritize the things that are on my list of benefits for starting yourself. Some people might prioritize the things that are on my list of benefits for going to an actual loctician. But whatever it is that you choose, it's your individualized journey. It should be what you want and it should align with your beliefs. So first off, let's talk about starting with a loctician. This is for the person who needs a lot of peace of mind when it comes to how their hair looks or how it's gonna turn out. At the end of the day, your locks are gonna be your locks. They're not gonna look like somebody else's locks just because you showed a loctician a picture and asked for your hair to look like that. They're gonna look like your locks. And that is one of the most beautiful parts about the lock journey for me. And it's something that I think that you guys should be really excited about. But for some people, going to a loctician just gives them a little bit of peace of mind that their hair is gonna come out a certain way, because this is a seasoned professional, somebody who knows what they're doing and can even tell you what is feasible for your hair and what isn't. I think all textured hair locks how it's supposed to lock, but sometimes it takes a lot more manipulation for it to lock in that uniform style. I don't think it's a problem, but a lot of times they can look and see what's going on with your hair, if it's locking correctly, if it's bunching, and because they're able to, you know, go in and diagnose those things, I guess, they're able to kind of work on it and give you the look that you're going for. My next thing is that it's actually a really easy process to get your hair locked by a loctician, because you don't really have to do so much of the maintenance yourself. Like, you really go in there, get your hair washed, get your scalp massage, you get pampered. I mean, I'm assuming it's a vibe. I haven't really had anybody do my hair like that since before I had locks, but I have such fond memories of when I used to go get my hair done, whether it was my mom helping me out because I was being super lazy, or I just wanted to spend some time with her. Just that wash and condition and the scalp rub and the getting your hair done and walking out with zero effort, looking fresh as can be, like that. I love that feeling. So I don't knock anybody who likes to go and just get pampered. It is a lot of work, and you will develop biceps, which could be a good thing depending on who you are. Like, if you're looking for a workout out of, you know, locks and the lock journey, definitely do it yourself. But if you're not really looking for so much of a workout and you want to get pampered, I would definitely suggest going to a loctician. Another thing that I think is a really big benefit of going to a loctician is that they are able to provide expert advice to you. Hypothetically, it could take you months or even years to find out some of the things that a loctician probably has the knowledge level to just tell you. I've been on my lock journey for over 2 years and I'm still learning things. Another big benefit to going to a loctician is that they can see things that you can't. We don't have eyes in the back of our head, and sometimes, like, having a mirror behind you and holding up another mirror, it doesn't really give you the same, you know, you can see, but there's nothing like being able to really get in there, use both hands and your eyes and see what exactly is going on. If you have something weird going on in your hair, they might be able to smell things that you have been desensitized to. So it's just them being able to see and experience things that you can't. Another thing that I think is a really good benefit to going to a loctician is a sense of community. It's not too often that as Black people we have spaces to where we could kind of just get together and talk about our hair without judgment or without having to explain things to people. And I just think that the salon is a really great place to do that. Historically, it's been a place that we've been able to come together and share and just experience each other's energy. And I think that that is a really good benefit to going to a loctician. If you go to somebody who has a salon, you might meet a few people, you might just be able to get that sense of community while you're there. Another benefit is that sometimes going to a loctician is just quicker. They're faster at what they do, especially if you're just starting your locks. You might not really have your technique down, even with your retwists and things like that. So it might take you a really long time in the beginning to kind of get used to things. They know what they're doing. They're not second guessing things or forgetting what direction they go in and trying to go back and retrace their steps and all that. And then oftentimes locticians either have their own product that might work really well on your hair, or they have access to like wholesalers that sell products that we might not be able to get as just regular people without licenses. They also might have other equipment there that would be a large investment if you went to go and buy it yourself right now. If you're a person who likes to sit under the dryer, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna have a dryer there already at whatever location you go get your hair done. So you won't have to buy that yourself. So yes, contrary to popular belief, I do believe that there are, pluses of going to a loctician. And if that's what you want to do, I 100% support your decision. It's your life journey and I want you to go through it in whatever way that you want to. Now I want to give you guys a couple tips that I wrote down where if you choose to go to a loctician, keep these things in mind. First of all, you need to be going to a loctician rather than a stylist. Sometimes these stylists, no offense to them, but they know how to make hair look good, but they don't always specialize in the health of your hair or your scalp. So they might know how to give you like a cute little style with the front and the back and the bang and all that, but they might not know a lot about how to keep your specific head of hair healthy. Another thing that you need to do before you book your appointment with your loctician is see their work. If you don't know what their work looks like, okay, you haven't seen anybody who has come out of their chair and it looked like a success, I would not recommend going to that loctician. I think it's really important to try to meet with the loctician first, just to kind of get a little gauge of their energy, because you never know who you're going to be working with. And I always talk about your hair being an extension of your nervous system. So you really want to make sure that you're going to somebody that has good energy, that doesn't make you feel weird, just somebody who's not going to interfere with the spiritual aspect of locking your hair. Another thing that I want y'all to make sure that you do is to make your wants clear. Tell them what your desires are, because it's your experience. And even though they are providing a service to you, it should still be exactly what you want it to be. Of course, you can go through talking about the part size, get their opinion on the pattern and all that stuff based on your hair. But it should still be your experience. At the end of the day, it should be exactly how you want it. So before you proceed and move forward with a loctician, make sure your wants are clear. So those are just my thoughts on the benefits of going to an actual loctician to start your hair. If you have another reason why you want to go to a loctician, by all means leave it in the comment section below and go. But those are just the things that I came up with. If you're a person who's going for a certain look or it just makes you feel more comfortable, by all means start with the loctician. All right, so now we're going into my favorite part of this video. Everybody knows how I feel about having an individualized journey, whether it be an individualized lock journey, spiritual journey, accepting that your journey is going to be your own and nobody else's, and that you rule over it and it can be what you want it to be. That is one of the most empowering things that I feel like you could ever tell somebody if taken seriously. And for me personally, I just feel like the best way to have an individualized lock journey is to do it yourself as an individual. Now, like I said, this is not for everyone, okay? It can be, but it's not. Whatever it is that you decide to do, I am backing you 100%. Like, I want you to win. I know it's going to be exactly what you want it to be. You're gonna get more than you ever dreamed of getting out of your lock journey. And I speak that onto your life. But for me personally, I am extremely happy that I decided to put my locks in myself, take care of them by myself, and just own my experience. So number one, the benefit, which is one of the most amazing benefits to starting your locks yourself, is definitely going to be the connection that you develop with your locks. Now, I can't speak to the connection that other people are able to develop with their locks that are started by a loctician, but I just know that for me, I have such a strong connection with my hair because I just feel like I know it from the inside out. Aside from the fact that it came from me, being able to do my hair, handle my hair, manage my hair by myself, putting them in myself, and just going through that whole experience of sitting there for a couple of hours, making sure that everything was just how I wanted it to be, and also just putting my hands up to the parts of my hair that are gonna decide to do what they wanna do regardless, and being okay with that. That is just top tier. The connection is by far one of my favorite things about doing my locks myself and installing them myself. The next thing that I want to touch on is that when you do your locks yourself, it kind of takes away that fear of what if I'm not able to get an appointment. I started these things, I can see them all the way through their whole entire process, from when they're coming out of my head to when they hit my booty, because they're just getting that long. You know this hair, you grew this hair, and you never have to worry about depending on somebody else to take care of it for you. The next thing that I really want to touch on, which is similar but also separate, is that you never have to wait on anybody when it comes to your hair. If you are a person who is practicing patience and you want to practice that patience by putting yourself in a position to where you need an appointment, but you have to wait a couple extra weeks than what you wanted to wait in order to get in and get your locks started or get them maintained and retwisted, then by all means, if that's the way that you want to practice your patience, definitely go and try to get an appointment with a loctician. But when you do it yourself, you don't have to wait on anybody. You just have to do it. Another thing that makes me really excited about the fact that I made the decision to start my locks and see them all the way through up until now is the pride that I get when I tell people about it. A lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, where'd you get it done? And it's all me, baby. It's all me. And I love, like you guys can see on my face, I love being able to say that. I feel like although having beautiful black hair is a bragging right within itself, starting and maintaining your own locks, for me, not saying one flex is better than the other flex, but it's just a different flex. Another thing that again is kind of similar, but I'd say more adjacent, is the convenience of not having to actually travel somewhere to get your hair done. It is very convenient when it's a snow day, if you live in a cold place now like me, still trying to get used to it, or transportation isn't where you want it to be, or the world is shutting down or whatever, but you still want to look fly in the crib and record your content or go on your Zoom calls with a fresh retwist. It's just super convenient to be able to start and maintain your locks at home. You don't have to walk nowhere, you don't have to drive nowhere, you don't have to take a plane nowhere, you can just do it. Regardless of the circumstances, literally, if you have at the most basic level access to water and maybe some oil, your hair can always be done whenever you need it to be done. Another benefit that I've experienced when I started my locks and even through maintaining my locks is that it really forces you to learn, not just the techniques on how to retwist and things like that, but it forces you to learn yourself. Some people go through their whole lives with their hair in weave or under a wig and things like that, which is cool for you if that's who you are, but the texture of your hair being different in the back versus the front or the sides or wherever your dry patch is should not be a foreign language to you. It should not be a new concept that we are just learning as adults. And starting locks and maintaining them yourself just really gives you front row access to that experience. Even if you do end up going with a loctician instead of just doing it yourself, don't let having a loctician get in the way of your learning and your oneness with yourself. Another thing that I really appreciate is that all of my tools and my products are for me only. Sometimes when you go to a salon, no matter how clean they try to be, a person might forget to wash a comb, or they might be dipping into the same product all day. And what was on the last person's head is now suddenly on your head. And for me, being sanitary is like really high on my priority list. So yeah, if you can, at least try to like get your own tools or pay them for the product and just bring that same product in every time. Another thing that I really value about starting and maintaining my locks myself is that there's no aspect of like mindless manipulation. You can decide every day how perfect or imperfect you want your locks to look. Sometimes with people who are experts at something and they do it all day, they get into just like a mode to where they just do it without thinking, and you might want more of like a freeform look with your locks, or you might want it to look a little bit more natural. Meanwhile, your loctician is mindlessly repairing all of the things that they don't like about your locks. Personally, I just like to have the option for it to be exactly how I want it to be. And I just don't care to have anybody else's opinion, whether conscious or subconscious, to interfere with the way that my locks develop. And lastly, one of my favorite things about starting and maintaining my own locks is that you kind of get to try different products and see what you like. Sometimes we just go to the loctician, we have them do our hair, it looks really nice on the day of, but after a couple of weeks we might find out that that product doesn't really mesh well with our hair, or we're wondering why our hair is still so dry and things like that, and it's because the product that this person keeps in stock at their salon might just not be the thing for you. Just because they swear by it and 80% of their clients really like it and it does well on their hair, that doesn't mean that down the line maybe even weeks or months after, you're not gonna discover that it wasn't really the best thing to put in your hair. So if you start and maintain your own locks, it's kind of just trial and error, which is something a lot of people might not want to go through. But if you're a person who really prioritizes finding the product that is good for your locks specifically, it's going to be a fair trade-off for you, and it's going to work out better for you in the end. So those are my thoughts on why it's good to start and maintain your locks by yourself. I've been preaching to consider that this whole time that I've been on YouTube talking about locks. That doesn't mean that you have to do it. I just want it to be an option in your head. It's not just, oh, I want locks, let me find a loctician. And everything that you need to know about locks, you could pretty much find either within yourself or online on YouTube. A great place to start would be my channel, because I teach you guys how to moisturize your hair. I teach you what type of oils I put in my hair. I teach you how to retwist, all that stuff. I even have a playlist on my channel to where you can just click it and let the videos play and take in all that information. And it's free. And you know what else would be free if you decide to start and maintain your locks yourself? Starting your locks and retwisting your hair. Over and above all the information that I gave you in this video though, I do want to drive this one single last point home. Just because you start with a loctician does not mean that you need to go to a loctician for your whole entire lock journey. And just because you start your locks by yourself does not mean that if you need help down the line, you can't find a loctician that is good, reputable, that can align with your vision and has good energy that will help you along the way if you need it. These decisions are not absolute, so I really want to push you guys to do whatever it is that feels right for you, but also know that you have options. So I hope that you really enjoyed this video. I'm so happy to be back making videos for you guys again, this time in a new setting. As always, if you made it to this point in the video, make sure to leave a little unicorn in the comment section below. And of course, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow all my social media accounts right down there, and I'll see you in the next one.